Hi everyone, my name is Carolyn Holden. I am a creative technologist in the AI, tech, and venture capital space. And now I'm going to be making a video for my interns, but I thought the rest of you may want to see it. So I recently hired 2 new interns at SwiftStartGo, this media company that makes all of this lovely content for you. And they asked me some of their biggest questions about AI. This is our second video in this Q&A session, and I hope you enjoy. So without further ado, here is our first question. What are the best AI tools for creating art or music? Okay, so personally, I mostly use ChatGPT for creating images. I make a lot of little cartoons on ChatGPT. I even made some custom GPTs to create art images like the same style. But I actually don't use a lot of the more fun, creative AI tools, mostly because I'm very busy and I haven't had time to sit down and dabble with some of the fun stuff. But I do know what are the cool hot things. So here are what are the cool hot things. For video, Google's Veo 3 is really hot right now because they just launched their AI video with audio tools, which is pretty neat. But OpenAI's Sora and Midjourney also have some pretty good options if you want to dabble with those AI video tools as well. For images, like I said, I'm mostly using ChatGPT, but Midjourney and Adobe Firefly are names that I'm hearing all the time. I also keep being told that Canva is an AI art platform. I don't know how I feel about that. I don't really think Canva is an AI tool. I kind of feel like that might be a marketing ploy, but they certainly have a lot of AI driven things in there, including an AI image generator in case you need it. And music-wise, I have not played with them yet, but Suno and Udio are the names that I have been hearing with people who are dabbling in the music space. Next question, can AI be used for transportation? Will AI be driving my car or flying planes in 10 years? So yes, there is actually one tool that you have absolutely used when it comes to driving, which is AI, and that is Google Maps or Waze or any AI navigation tool. Now, is this generative AI? No, this is more like machine learning and artificial intelligence things that have been around for years and years and years that have been continuing to progress. And I know that wasn't the answer you were expecting because it's older tech, and whenever you think of AI these days, you think ChatGPT and things that are shiny and new. But if you're looking for something more shiny and new in the car and plane space, technically the self-driving cars that companies like Tesla, Waymo, and Cruise have been working on are also AI-driven projects. Again, not necessarily generative AI. There are a lot of different types of machine learning and AI and generative AI and all of this kind of stuff, but technically self-driving cars definitely falls under that category. Same with autopilot on planes. Autopilot tools for planes have been around for many years. I don't know that they've changed very much in many years because I'm not in that space, but they're primarily used for cruising. So going from one place to another, not for takeoff or for landing. That said, while the tech for these type of autopilot and self-driving tools has actually been around for a long time, 10 plus years effectively, there is a severe lack of trust among the populace and among politicians, which means that it's questionable when we are actually going to start seeing self-driving cars everywhere in the country instead of just places like California and Texas. But if we do see significantly more setting Waymo cars on fire, I do think adoption is going to continue to be quite slow. Next question. What role could AI play in advancing personalized medicine? Okay, so the personalized medicine space is really exciting, though you may not get access to it right away. So there was actually a recent article in the New York Times which kind of blew my mind personally. It was talking about a study made by a handful of doctors who were playing around with literal ChatGPT to see how well it could diagnose patients, helping with diagnostics, right? What it found was absolutely wild. So ChatGPT, for when used by itself, correctly diagnosed patients 90% of the time. You know, you hear 90%, it's like, oh, well, that's not 100, but the doctors who used ChatGPT with them got a 76% accuracy rate in this diagnosis. But crazily enough, the doctors who worked by themselves and had no access to ChatGPT for diagnostics got 74%. And it said in the article that they think this was probably caused by the doctors not understanding how to use the tools effectively or not believing the diagnosis that were coming out of ChatGPT. And also, being here in Minneapolis, Minnesota, we have a ton of medical device and health tech companies that are coming out of the woodwork. I've met several founders who are building health tech AI startups that are doing incredibly well, including a really cool AI skin cancer software, which is incredibly accurate, which is super cool, and so many more. The only issue is there's so much regulation that how quickly it's going to take for these types of tools to become widespread is a bit questionable. But there's some really cool stuff coming out, and I personally think the medicine and AI space is one of the coolest areas in the industry.
We'll be right back, but now a quick word from our sponsor.
This show has been brought to you by Cirrus North. Does your organization need a better partner for cloud, DevOps, security, and compliance? Cirrus North is a team of software professionals with a passion for cloud solutions, DevOps, automation, Kubernetes, and streamlining complex business problems. They are 100% US-based in Minnesota and Chicago, have deep experience supporting mission-critical technology operations in highly regulated environments, and have delivered success for startups and for companies on the Fortune 5. Interested? Reach out to the team at cirrusnorth.io. That's cirrusnorth.io. Thanks, Cirrus North.
Next question. What are some breakthroughs in science that AI is helping with? One of the biggest discoveries that has happened in the sciences recently has been that predicting protein structures. So if you look into DeepMind, so that's Google, so DeepMind's AlphaFold, they've done some incredible research that has accelerated discovering new potential protein folds that would have taken hundreds of years of research if done manually, which is an incredible deal. They were able to do it in just a couple weeks, a couple months, maybe even less. I don't even know. It was some really incredible work. Google DeepMind is also doing things to talk to dolphins, which is crazy. I think we are not far off from starting to understand how different animals communicate with us, which is crazy. Again, the more data we have, the more likely that we're going to be able to identify these different patterns. Oh my gosh, robotics. I didn't even mention robotics. Guys, the stuff with AI and robotics is crazy, because if you have been working with robots and you've been needing to train them to do things like picking up a glass of water, right? You would have to tell the robot over and over again to hundreds of times pick up and set down this glass of water over and over and over again in real life before it would actually learn how to do this very well, right? It needs to have that consistent amount of practice in order to do it well. But now with AI and different virtual kind of spaces, robotics people are able to put robots in situations where they can practice picking up a glass of water over and over again in a digital virtual space, okay? And they can do it hundreds to thousands of times simultaneously. And then, now that they've practiced in the virtual world, they can practice in the human world and do it perfectly. And so what we're seeing now in robotics is we've gone from robots taking years to learn how to pick up a glass of water, okay, to robots being able to learn how to do things in just a matter of weeks or months, which is absolutely wild. And so that's part of the reason why you maybe have seen some things like Tesla's robots handing out popcorn at a diner. I'm a bit confused about what's going on there in general, but we are going to be seeing a lot of really cool things with robotics in the next couple of years in ways I think a lot of people are not expecting. A lot of people are paying attention to AI, and AI is influencing robotics in a really massive way, which is super cool. But people aren't necessarily talking about the robotics nearly as much, you know?
We'll be right back, but now a quick word from our sponsor.
This video has been brought to you by the PM Insider. Product managers, are you ready to take your skills to the next level with AI? The AI for Product Management course by the PM Insider teaches you how to harness the power of AI, even if you don't write code. Get 15% off when you use the code SWIFT15 at checkout. That's 15% off with the code SWIFT15 at thepminsider.com. Thanks, PM Insider.
Next question. What are the challenges around copyright and creative ownership in an AI-generated art? Okay, so a lot of the controversy over AI-generated art and copyright has to do with how our current legal system works with copyright. Whenever you're using another person's content in a video, like if I put a clip in here, I'm legally, technically only supposed to put unedited clips. So like if I were gonna put a clip of Parks and Rec in here.
I'm not sick, I just have allergies, okay? I took a Claritin and I threw that up. So I took another one, I threw that up, and then I took a third and it stayed down. I'm getting better.
All right, you're burning up.
You're burning up. What?
I'm only legally allowed to use it for free if it's under like 30-ish seconds. Otherwise, I can get flagged with a copyright strike, or, you know, things get a little messy. Now the rules are a little bit all up in the air because TikTok kind of blew everything up. But in general, the rule has been you have to pay to use content if it is longer than a certain amount, right? And that's kind of how people have thought of it. Like you can, refer to things and, you can hint that, oh, this piece is based off of this piece and I'm using it as a reference for blah, 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 blah. But you can't just present somebody's content that they have made before as an entirely new thing and claim it completely as your own. And usually it's some sort of consent thing, whether it's the artist has to approve that the work is being used, or if it's you'd have to go through whoever owns the rights, right? So what's happened with AI is these AI systems, OpenAI, advertised themselves as a nonprofit who was looking to do research to train computers to think and understand the world, right? And so a lot of people said, oh, okay, you can totally use this, not thinking this was ever going to be profitable. Or, OpenAI was like, we need more data. This is just for research. We're going to go on YouTube and scan all of the videos that we have to try to just get more content. And we're going to scan all these books and we're going to do all this stuff. And we're not getting permission because this is all just for research, right? Except now it's not all just for research anymore, is it? No, now we have these massive companies that are potentially going to completely change our world for the better in some cases and for worse in the others, right? But are going to have massive financial impacts. And what's happening is now you can replicate an artist's style easily and claim it as your own and do whatever you want with it by just making a single prompt. So that gets complicated. And we're running into situations where people are, asking for a piece of art, not knowing who the artist is, and AI systems are creating images or writing that is extremely close. These AI companies, they messed up. They really messed up. And part of it was not necessarily realizing what was going to happen with these systems, right? Now we're in this complicated situation where we need to figure out what are going to be the rules that we are going to embrace. It seems very clear to me that we need to have likely a change in our copyright law system, and some of that is probably going to come out of these cases that are going to be, thought about by judges. But the real question is, what is Congress going to do? What is state law going to do? Right now, we're seeing a lot of pushback from the federal administration, trying to limit the amount of regulation as much as possible. A lot of this is being pushed by a guy named David Sachs, who you may know as a PayPal Mafia bro, or you may know as one of the guys from the All In podcast, and he's kind of leading the charge in the Trump administration for all things AI at the moment, and is a bit of a controversial kind of a guy. But overall, I think that question is still up in the air. I know a lot of artists who I really know and love believe that they cannot use any of these AI systems due to the fact that these companies severely took advantage of artists and creators. I personally have my own emotional qualms about that, but I also believe there's not much that can be done on an individual level to fight that, other than, calling your representatives and telling them what you think, right? But I think there are a lot of benefits when it comes to artists being able to take control of their own careers and potentially using these systems to help be able to do things like building their own businesses and learning more about how to, build better careers for themselves, better models for themselves, and figure out how to do things like accounting and taxes and all the things that you don't want to do, right? So I think that's a very personal choice on my part and on other people's part. But at the same time, if this is something you're really passionate about, call your local legislators, call your national legislators, right? Call your senators and let them know what you think and write things about it, right? Post things online and say what you think is right or wrong about this. All we can do at the end of the day is share our voices and our thoughts, or not. The more likely that you are to share it, the more likely things are going to change. So that's my extremely long-winded answer for AI and copyright law. I hope you appreciate it. And thank you so much for watching this video. I really want to know what your thoughts are on this on any section of this video. But if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Let me know, what questions do you have that you want me to cover in any of our Q&As for our next videos? I would really love to hear them. So thanks so much again. Have a great day, guys. Bye.